Hello everybody, Life On In here, and today we are going to be taking a look at a game called Fortnite. More importantly, I will be attempting to answer the question of is it good or worth actually playing. Now, for those of you who do not know, this is an early access game, so in the past early access games some of them at least have been good and some of them have been very bad. I'm going to attempt to hit the good points in this particular game and also point out some of its big flaws. Now, first things first, the gameplay itself. Is it any good? Does it feel like, do the controls feel natural? Do the enemies seem boring? Do they seem right for the place? Does the weapons and all of that come together and flow smoothly? Personally, I think the gameplay for an early access game, at least in this stage, is actually pretty good compared to some of the early access games we've had. I guess my initial description of this game would be, it's a mix of something like Left 4 Dead, and then it has a Minecraft element to it. So you have to gather resources and build bases around certain objectives, and depending on what mission you're playing, and I mean, that's your Minecraft aspect of it. And then on the other side, you have your shooting aspect of it, which you have your assault rifles, your shotguns, sniper rifles, pretty much any type of weapon you can think of. It's probably in here, and then some weapons you can't think of, it's still probably in here. Now, I will say that there are a few glitches when it comes to the gathering resources part of this game. What you're seeing on the screen now is the really big constructor glitch that is in the game at the moment. They may fix this very soon, I do not know. It is a pretty big exploit. It takes a certain hero. I'm not going to get in depth about it. But basically, if I get anything below 600 health, I can just literally walk into it and kill it. It's going to give me a massive advantage when it comes to collecting resources and then building the base, which in this mission, you're just building a radar grid, so it really it depends on what mission you're doing. However, that glitch aside, when it comes to collecting resources, you build every weapon, every trap, every piece of anything that you do in this game, all your walls, your ramps, is all built out of what you gather from the environment. And literally everything in this environment is pretty much destroyable. I mean, you can destroy houses completely by taking down the walls, and then the entire house will just fall. So, as far as that aspect goes, they hit the nail on the head, so to speak, I would say. For people that love to, go out there, gather the resources for what you build. Those types of games have been attempted before, obviously, in zombie games, but this one just feels more refined, I guess. Either way, the initial gameplay itself, it feels really good, both the shooting and gathering aspect of it. Now, this is going to be where the bad starts to come in, because it is such an early access game. They don't have all of the story finished yet, so once you get past about half of the areas, you stop getting quest dialogue, and you're just beginning to just play just for the grind. Literally, it's just honestly for the grind at that point if you're doing that. I guess for me personally, I enjoy games that make me take a lot of time, so I am still playing it. I don't know if it's really a good thing or a bad thing, but there you go. The game itself is set to come out, I think, either next year, like the later end of the year, as a free-to-play game. Right now, you have to pay to play it. I think it is like $20 for the lowest version of it. I personally got the $40 one because it gave me a free code for a friend, which I then used for a friend. I guess that part was kind of obvious. But, I mean, for me, the money for it was worth it because I do enjoy games that make me play for a long time. This game is going to fall short for many players, I feel like, because once you pay for that initial cost, you then have a glorious, it's a supply drop system. I was gonna say loot system, but it's when it comes down to it, it's supply drops, and it greatly affects how you actually can play the game. And from the screen, I'm sure you can already tell why I say it's a supply drop system. You have legendaries and epics and all these different other types of schematics that build the weapons inside the game that you actually use. So, yay! And sometimes you can even get a good weapon and then have terrible rolls or bonuses like you are seeing on the right side of the screen, where like my slice and dice is 10% damage and then like a 20% heavy attack cost reduction, blah blah blah. You get really frustrated with this kind of a system in a game. And I feel like this is where the game is going to fail in the eyes of 90% of the people that don't want to play it. It's just because this is the type of system they would have to deal with to attempt to get anything good whatsoever. I mean, if you have all green weapons and you're going into a really high level zone like a level 46, which is where I'm playing despite the fact I'm a 35, it would be extremely hard had I not gotten some of the weapons that I and my friends have gotten. This personally really makes me sad because they actually did the gameplay in this game very good, and unfortunately I feel like that is going to be held back because it is behind this type of a system. And that is this system's greatest drawback, is that it is a pay-to-win game. Luckily in this game they did make it to where people you trust, at least, you can give them your resources and they can build you, say, a schematic that they have, and you do not lose a schematic whenever you build the weapon. So as long as you can keep supplying your friend with materials to build you a certain weapon they have that you like, then that works. However, that usually just means it's your friend paying to win for both of you. So I'm not really sure if that makes it better or worse, but it does help if you do have a friend that has really good schematics, or from either buying extra llamas, aka supply drops, or just has really good luck with this kind of stuff. But when it comes down to it, I am not a game reviewer. I'm not some professional guy people are going to come to seek my great opinion on knowing these games. I don't know. Me particularly, I enjoy playing this game. The gameplay is very good. Between the 4 or 5 friends I have that play it, we have some pretty decent weapons. So, I've had fun with it. Somebody that has all terrible weapons may not have that much fun. I honestly, it's conflicting. It's really conflicting inside of me, because I want to say it's a really fun game, but if you get into it and play it, and all you get are greens and blues, which are terrible to use, you're not probably going to have very much fun playing it. Now, they were supposed to be releasing a survival mode in this particular game, where instead of just missions and defending your home base every once in a while, but they had to delay it due to them finding some glitches or exploits or something of the sort. They didn't exactly go into detail on what was really bad that they found, but they did have to delay it. And personally, I think that them delaying something like that is actually good, instead of releasing it with a known bug and then attempting to fix it after release. I think they should be honest and straightforward with their fan base, which they have done. So as a studio in that regard, I have to give them some props. But that still doesn't make up for the drawbacks of their loot system. I feel like if this was a game that wasn't obviously one of the early access, this was made by a studio that was bigger than this studio, that could make the game up front, take this stupid mechanic out, and have a more generalized weapon system instead of a pay-to-win system, this game would probably be one of my favorite games of all time. Unfortunately, they didn't do that, so I don't know really much more to say. Whenever they release the, I almost said DLC, it's not DLC, it's just an update to actually start finishing the game more. When they release the survival mode, which I believe they are calling update 1.5 Survive the Storm, when it comes out, I will be covering that on the channel. So if you want to see how this game continues to progress along its path to finally becoming a free-to-play game, once it ever does, then it's something I will probably keep doing on the channel. If people don't want to see this stuff, I will probably just play it in my little bit of spare time that I have, and maybe give you guys an update every once in a while. I don't know. That'll just depend on you guys' preference, really. But I believe that is it for my initial opinions on the game. Take it how you will. I'm just honestly glad to be back making videos again. It feels like it's been a really long time, but at the same time it feels like it was just yesterday. I was still sitting at this mic doing voiceovers and putting out videos for you guys, and I'm back doing that, and you know, hopefully I will be back for it in the long run, and I'm just glad you guys are still around to support me, and hopefully we can get this going again. Leave your thoughts below in the comments section. I'm going to read every single comment on the video. Obviously, on a small channel, it is a very nice thing to actually be sometimes, because you can't just read all the comments. So, put your thoughts down below. I will see them. I'll respond to them if I get the chance. And also, check out Juicebox Ninja. His channel will be linked in the description of this video. He is a very good friend and a fellow YouTuber who puts out many more videos than I do. He live streams pretty much every single day, and he plays a lot of PUBG, and he'll be playing Destiny 2 with me, and probably any zombies videos. Sometimes we'll do those together. I mean, well, he's a good guy. Just go subscribe. Do it. Just do it. Anyway, guys, thank you for all the support. This has been a initial review of Fortnite. This is L1f3 On End, and I am out.